Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, I always get caught up on the little things. I got these videos that pop up on my timeline, and usually, first impression, I think, this clip probably not going to be video worthy. But then I hear this one little piece of rhetoric or this one thing said that really sparks something in my mind. And I always react the same way. I gotta make a video on this. In other words, it's always the little things. I got another CNN panel clip that had me seriously riled up this morning. Let me show you guys this clip and what bothered me so much. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so let's first start off by just playing the CNN clip, and let's see if you catch the same thing as me.
Joe Biden's record with regard to the things that he's accomplished, I think will stand the test of time. It was very disturbing to learn late in the year about just how poor his health has become. And like many, I did not realize that it had gotten to that point. That being said, I think he showed up for the job. He got the work done. I think some of the accomplishments also in the Middle East and foreign policy will also stand the test of time.
You think the Middle East is in better shape today than when he took office?
Well, I think he got our hostages home. I think that's a big deal. I think it's important.
I'm sorry, which hostages?
He's gotten a number of people home. He was able.
There's still 100 people over there.
Well, there were more than that.
Including some Americans. Look, I think he's gonna leave office in disgrace. The Hunter Biden pardon was disgraceful. He's going to be remembered largely for inflation and for the disastrous Afghanistan pullout. We're just getting the first draft of this now, but as we continue to learn about the massive cover-up that went on, not about his health, but about his mental acuity, to cover that up, the efforts that were undertaken by the White House staff, by his family, not in the last couple of months, but for all 4 years, I think it's going to be a really ugly chapter. It's a diminished presidency because of it. And I think we still don't know the full extent of what they did to try to hide what they've been doing over in the West Wing.
Yep, I'm sure a lot of you guys had a very similar reaction to me when this right here was said.
It was very disturbing to learn late in the year about just how poor his health has become. And like many, I did not realize that it had gotten to that point.
Now, of course, she's presenting this as this honest, innocent little thing. Oh, well, I just didn't know. But that is such a freaking load of crap, it's not even funny. I get so frustrated watching CNN because they're always playing these games. They're always playing stupid, frankly. Just the other day, Abby Phillips was going on, I haven't seen any evidence to suggest Joe Biden's involvement in his son's business dealings.
I'm still waiting to see.
Well, he can't be charged. He's the president.
Meanwhile, I'm not going to rehash all the evidence there. We already did a video on that. But rather what I want to focus on is this constant feigning innocent ignorance. We didn't know. Oh, we're so surprised. Joe Biden, 10% the big guy? Wow, I never knew about that. You're literally at the forefront of information, news, and media. Like, these are people who are supposedly at the top of the journalism game, and they're like, oh, I didn't know about the Hunter Biden laptop story. What a freaking insult. It's so dumb. And obviously they constantly get away with it, but they shouldn't be able to, because it's obvious they're acting. I didn't realize how bad Joe Biden's health had gotten. I love how she uses the word health as if it's something physical when it's obviously not. It's mental decline. Sure, it's related to his health, but when talking about it, again, these are top journalists, right? You'd expect them to be very careful with the words that they choose. You'd expect them to be accurate in the words that they use, but instead they're very careful to choose words that diminish the significance of what they're talking about. In other words, she's still defending Joe Biden. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, we were all just so surprised. Later this year, as if Joe Biden's health and mental decline only became an issue or only became a glaring issue in late 2024. How stupid. We went through 6 months of intense focus during the 2020 election, and that entire time Joe Biden called a lid every single day, never left the basement. When he did leave the basement, it was a complete, utter freaking disaster. The guy couldn't speak, he could barely walk, he was shuffling around. We kept talking about it, but CNN kept saying, oh, there's nothing to it. Republicans are just faking clips. Cheap fakes, they called it.
There's a growing and insidious trend in right-wing media, broadcast, print, and social media. Both the articles are based on cheap fakes, videos of real events that are intentionally manipulated to fool viewers, released on an RNC opposition research social media account with zero independent fact-checking.
They actively worked to defend Joe Biden. They were part of the cover-up, and now they're feigning ignorance. Oh, well, we just didn't know. Give me a freaking break. the dishonesty is just incredible. The quality of conversation on CNN is abysmal. We just didn't know. I mean, how could we ever know that Joe Biden was suffering early stages of dementia? I mean, come on. They obviously knew from the start. Oh, we just didn't know. You didn't know. Really? I mean, that's the excuse. You couldn't figure it out. It wasn't obvious enough, right?
Neurological exams by neurosurgeon. Or not without electrical, not without electoral bipartisan influence again, which there's been a response from there's been a response from...
Oh, how could they have possibly known? How could they have possibly seen? I mean, give me a break. It's purposeful ignorance. That's exactly what it is. These people think you're stupid. The executives, the producers at CNN must take you for an absolute class A moron. You know, it's this weird kind of thing. It's almost as if you had a friend, let's say, who betrayed you. They did something that was clearly deceptive and wrong, and they carried on that charade for essentially 4 years straight. And then once it all falls apart and they get exposed for being dishonest and deceptive, they don't take accountability at all. No, they just keep continuing as if nothing happened, and they just play confused and surprised. Oh, well, I didn't know that I was actively scamming you and deceiving you. How could I have possibly known? Let's just continue to act as if everything is perfectly normal. No, it's not normal. They want to be able to engage in all the corrupt, scummy behavior you could possibly imagine and then never be held accountable. Just pretend like it never happened, but it doesn't work that way. And the lies that they pushed here are the perfect example of why the mainstream media has lost its credibility entirely, while they'll never get it back. They were complicit in this massive cover-up, plain and simple, and now they're gaslighting you. Oh, it was just a mistake. But it was deliberate. They knew exactly what they were doing. And let's not forget how these same exact mainstream journalists treated Donald Trump. When Trump was in perfectly fine health but walked cautiously down a slippery ramp with leather-soled shoes, they had a meltdown. The entire media apparatus went into overdrive, questioning his fitness for office and calling for the 25th Amendment. They analyzed his every step like he was on trial. Meanwhile, Joe Biden could barely form a coherent sentence, and half the time he looked like he was on the verge of falling asleep during any of his meetings, but they couldn't see it and it was just a mistake. Spare me the double standard. Joe Biden hasn't showed up for a real day's work in nearly 4 years. His public schedule has been a joke. It's always been a joke. He spends more time on vacation than in the Oval Office, and when he does appear in public, he's propped up like a puppet, barely able to read scripted lines off a teleprompter. He gets escorted off the stage like a lost child who wandered away from his parents. He hasn't been able to function as a normal human being, let alone a president. And that's the man they told you was perfectly fine. That's the guy who they claimed had stamina and sharpness. Well, I'll tell you, let's be absolutely real, they would have never done the same for Donald Trump. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't incompetence. They didn't just miss it due to a partisan blind spot. They created the partisan blind spot. It was a deliberate effort to manipulate the American people. Period. They ignored all of it because they had a narrative to protect and an election to win. But now that Biden's decline is undeniable, they want to just acknowledge it and move on. Never. The trust is gone. The media's credibility is gone forever, because this wasn't just about Joe Biden's health. It was about their willingness to lie, spin, and gaslight the American people for political gain. They showed us exactly who they are, and there's no coming back from that. So no, I won't trust them again. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever, because these people betrayed the public trust and they did it knowingly. And now their networks are tanking and they have no one to blame but themselves. Oh, we're sorry. The typical South Park apology, except in this case, it's not even an apology. No, it's even slimier. They're trying to run away from the issue and pretend like it never happened. That simply cannot be allowed to stand. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.